I am with Mr. Bona Ezeudu, a super artist. Sir, can you just let us know how you started this art that has given you fame and fortune, if one might say so?
Okay. Yeah. It's quite good talking to you. But in art, we don't have a super artist, because art is not a kind of wrestling contest or somebody. In a way,
He's a top artist.
So, I'm just an old artist in reality, and also an old artist, somebody that have practiced his art for over 50 something years now. If I say 50 something years, it will look like, how can I get here? I started doing this way back in primary school. St. Teresa's Secondary School then in Jos. So then, I was exempted from Friday manual levels. I used to go and make some sketches for Monday lesson, like maybe drawing the map of Nigeria or map of Africa, and or maybe doing the sketch of Zeke and all those stuff. You know, yeah, that's my starting point.
Are you telling us that this happened in 19...
In the 60s, in the 60s, say around 1961, 62. So from the primary school, after the war, we moved into secondary school. So there in secondary school then, at St. Michael's Secondary School, Nemo. So I was a chief cartoonist. That's practicing art. I was a chief cartoonist with our old magazine then called The Ladder. It was in my early age, really. So from the secondary school stuff, we tidied up. So we took entrances for the higher institutions. So I got some admission then for Nsukka and maybe Amadu Bello Zaria, but I opted. My uncle said, "Please go and do it practically. Go to IMT and do something there." They are more oriented in doing practical.
So from day one. Whose uncle is this? Is he an artist?
Yeah, he was an art teacher in St. Charles College, Onitsha. Yeah, St. Charles Training College in Onitsha. Yeah, even my dad taught art there too. And Professor Udeku is a versatile man. He's into music, art, and everything. And eventually ended up as a big surgeon. Yes. Yeah, Professor. Yeah, Fabian Udeku. So we tidied up with the artists, with our studies then in INT, and I did some correspondence stuff then in Royal School of Art. So we do our works, we sent to them to criticize, and I had some good mentors too.
Like
then
good yes, mentors like
one of my great mentors is late Professor Kenneth Dike, the first black chancellor in Nigeria of University of Ibadan. No, Ibadan University, yeah. He's a great historian. So I was still young then, so that he wants me to come around and talk about art at any given time. In short, he told me then, for any job you did for somebody, please let me see before you send it to the person. So he's a great historian. So the thing inspired me and made me to work as much as I can do, because, every week I didn't see me, it's like, is he not working again? So that pushed me really hard to do a good number of works, and he will criticize and tell you the history of other artists and ask me that he loves the color that I'm using. Please go back and work hard because you have a better retina than the white people. So you can handle your painting much more than the whites. So that's a very good encouragement. So I worked with people like Aji Babi Asika. Aji Babi Asika is a great historian too. And this guy, he will tell you histories of both our artists and how you start and how you end up. I was opportunity to work with him. I was really his boy. So people like us then, if you see anybody that will be your mentor, you just go to his place almost every time, even to wash cars or even to polish his school, has to make sure that you are close to him, because I learned everything from people like that. I was happy that I'm from a Latin family, and my dad was at the time catechist, both headmaster, his school in St. Charles on it, just teaching, St. Charles teaching this thing on it then. St. Charles teaching
Teachers training college.
Yes, teachers training was like an university at that given time, because there was no university in Nigeria there at that early 40 that my dad was schooling and teaching there. So I was allowed to pick your choice and do, just pick whatever I want to do and go on and do it in life and do it to the best of our ability. So then I opted for maybe architecture, fine arts, or music, and that's my area till today.
That was an IMT.
Huh? That was 70.
Okay.
The 70s.
Okay.
Yes, the 70s that I'm saying this.
Okay.
And so as from that 1980, I started practicing. After the youth service, I started practicing as a professional artist. So I had my first shows 1982 at the British Council here in Ugui Road then. So I have some other ones in Lagos, like National Museum and because there we don't have galleries in Nigeria. It's really the National Museum will have shows, or we use the embassies, the Goethe Institute, the Italian embassy and co for our shows. So I had some good number of shows then, both solo shows and group shows. So at about 1985, so we came together, some professionals here in the Eastern region. So people like Obiorode Chukwu and Ella Nasiu and Professor Aniako came together, and used to get us together and form a formidable group, the Aka Group of Exhibiting Artists. The Aka Group of Exhibiting Artists. So we started by, let's pick some talented people that have had shows in the past, to make us, at least to inspire the younger ones. And then I was lecturing at, it should be in IMT, because I lectured in some good number of schools, from teachers in Biokuta, Federal Government College, Enugu, CIC, Enugu, Ihamufu, and back to IMT again to lecture. So it's a great journey. So the formation of ACA started by 1985, but we had our first show in June 1986, which comprises of 13 able young men that are ready to work. So we had our shows in Enugu, Nsukka, Port Harcourt, Lagos, Abuja, and even abroad. We had a show in abroad, France. You had something in France about some 3 years ago.
Some 3 years ago?
Yes. Some 3 years ago. So as it stands, we are trying to have a show again. Maybe the last set of Aka dance, maybe the last set of Aka dance, it's like a dancing stuff, so that we can show our works again, at least to honor some good number of guys that worked with us. The number of them now are no more, died. So, we're having a show to honor them. And, and, and also mark El Anasiu's 80th birthday. And El Anasio has really done us proud. He has really distinguished himself in the art scene all over the world. So El is even listed as the first 100 important personality of the world. So El is a member of our group, the Aka group of exhibiting artists. So he has done us proud. So we are trying to have a show by end of October, at least to honor him and really, and honor the guys that were with us that died. About 5 of the members are no more alive. Like Ifedio Radike died, Samson Uchendo dead, Okafo Boniface dead, Chike Ebebe died. So about 5 of our members from the 13. And Essen in Sikak, my great friend. They're very great artists, very powerful artists. So just to honor them. So the show will be happening in Lagos and some other places. Yes, we may move from Lagos to Abuja and go.
One of the things that stand you out is that some people are specialized in a particular area of art.
Okay.
But you do all. Why? How?
Really, if you are gifted in art, really, if you are really gifted, you can do a lot of things. So, and really, I have ventured into a good number of creative things. I have done furniture, I've done some exotic landscape. So I've painted and I've done wrought iron. Seriously, it's like I'm one of the, the kind of people that started to do the wrought iron. But then in school, I didn't read sculptural work. Although they are in INT, their first 2 years, you have to process sculptural work, but the welding aspect we did not do. So it was towards, it was during my youth service, I was really forced to go into it. I was really forced to go into it because they have a confidence that the guy can always come out with something. So we had a company there, the Alibite, by the white men there in Lagos. They just talked with me. So please, this is your mask. Go and transfer it into a gate. You want to use it for somewhere. Gate. Wow, it's a big assignment. This is really shifting my head away from the painting and the sculptural works that I did with a good friend then at Yaba, Natulu Fulani. Yes, Fulani, I did some work with him. Like the old Habat Macaulay that you see in Lagos, all those stuff.
We did it with him.
Yeah, he's a friend that trusts me. So, Bona, keep doing this, that, and I said, I didn't do I didn't major in sculpture, but I can still do sculpture. Just be doing here for me, He's a very good friend.
Filani?
Yes.
He used to be at
He's Tolu Fulani, Tolu Fulani, yeah.
Fulani, okay.
He's in US now.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're still in touch. So I did it. So the Alabite company, so they really pushed me to go into wrought iron. So I'm really one of the exponents of wrought iron work. So after doing the gates with mask and all those stuff, a good number of people saw it in Lagos then. It's like, wow. So where is this one coming from? So we did a good number of projects there in Lagos. And I was forced to come back to Enugu, yeah.
After NYSC? Was it NYSC?
Yes, yeah. After NYSC, I stayed 1 year or 2 again. And I came down here because my parents are right here. And my siblings, they are not here. So I said, okay, let me come and stay with them and take care of my parents, So some people said, I don't know whether I'm very fortunate to do that, or was it really, Anyway, it's God's own hand, So the Enugu area made it possible for me to set up, one of the first private galleries in Enugu, if not the third or something. Yeah. But now, I can remember it's only Didi Museum. It's one of the first private art galleries where people can go and show work. So I came down here and did my first gallery. My first
Collection of
gallery.
your works this time?
No, just for exhibition. Both the ACA showed their works there and everybody. That's at 1987, And then I was so young. That I tell you my age. As at when I built that gallery, you won't believe it.
Tell me.
So no. Huh?
Tell me.
No, because I people will think that you are boasting, but most things are done by God, not to yourself.
Okay.
I built up my first gallery at the age of 27 years.
Hi.
I didn't even know what I did. Yeah. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I was looking for a space to experiment on my large works, paintings, sculptural works, and my wrought iron stuff. So I just had the space. Without finishing it complete, I moved there to, because there's no way you can practice your art in a flat.
Somebody's house.
Flat is only you can just do your paintings in one of the rooms. But this is, at least to do big projects, So we started transferring art into, most gates and hand railings into a kind of storytelling wrought iron stuff,